Alright, so I finally got around to adding my normal maps. I have a collection of different normal maps that I by hand created myself to match with these new textures that I found, which I love, by the way. They're very detailed textures. These are probably the most realistic textures to date, given that they're basically rips of real life people's skin onto these models. As you can see here, I did a little bit of background work too in regards to the neck seams. There's no longer any neck seams on my races. uh, I'm gonna go through all of the base races here so you can see them in detail. First one is the Argonian. I know in the previous video when I showed the Argonian, his head had a miscolor. It was miscolored. It was green while the rest of his body was sort of a grayish tone. As you can see here, I fixed it. I've aligned them properly, and it just doesn't apply to the male. It applies to the female. As you can see here, she has a slight tone difference from the male, but at the same time it's balanced too, as in her neck matches her body now. It's just something that slipped under my radar that I recently caught. That aside from the HD upscale textures that it utilizes. So here's my Bretons. My Breton females. The only thing I tweaked on my Breton females was really the neck seam. I removed the neck seam from the female side, while the male side, as you can see here, I'll turn off the light there. As you can see here, he's wildly more strafed and more muscular. You can actually see his six pack through his armor and stuff, and also the vascularity. If you pay attention to the arms of each of the races as I go through, they each have their own type and level of vascularity. That aside from the neck seam, there's no longer a neck seam on any of the races now. As you can see, it's literally gone, which I'm pretty proud of, given the amount of work it took. So move along, let's go through the elves. So for the dark elves, I wasn't a fan of the blue skin. It always jarred me, but these textures are so good. They're so realistic that I don't care at this point. As you can see here, under the normal lighting, they blend with the environment, and it's not too extreme. But these normal maps are super noticeable in intense lighting, as muscularity is. Just getting a close up here so you can see the neck seams are gone. The vascularity is pretty crazy. For the female side, same thing. I just got rid. Wow, she's super blue, huh? But for the female side, same thing. I got rid of the neck seam. There's nothing. Good luck finding one. Which is pretty proud of that. But yeah, these normal maps are insane. Again, these are custom made, so you won't find these normal maps anywhere else. But they're blends and mixtures of various different normal maps to add vascularity and muscularity or musculature to the characters. These are my high elves. My high elves aren't super straight out or super muscular, but it's enough there so that you can tell. Also, the neck seam's gone. Peep the neck. Very proud of that. Let's go to the female. Again, with the female, neck seam's gone. Again, the elves, they have their own skin tone, which is it differs, but it's not super noticeable. I like it because the textures are so realistic and so detailed that it's really not a big deal. So wait, that turn the light on? Yeah, so just looking at the neck there. Yeah, these are by far the best textures I can find. Like there's no topping them. And I'm showing the base races here, but keep in mind the all of these custom races, I meticulously went through each and every one of them, and I perfectly retextured and modded them to fit CBBE 3 triple B and SOS. So you have to just take my word, which you probably could do given what you're seeing here. Let's go to the male side first. So here's the male. As you can see, he's slightly less strafed. A good indicator is his belly. You see, he doesn't have like a super defined six pack like the previous races. Majority of the previous races has. He has his own custom vascularity here. He's not too veiny like everyone else. As you can see in normal light, it's probably barely noticeable. in normal light. I mean, to switch the preset. Female side. Female wood elves specifically are thick in the legs. They have different clothing too. All my elves do. And as you see, no neck seam. Seriously thinking about getting rid of that dirt texture. Maybe replacing it with moles from Caliente's bodies. Or big booty bodies or whatever it's called. Alright, for the Imperials, there you go. Peep the neck. Seam's gone. But look at the normal map. Dude is just strafed. Look at his freaking abs. Dude is just like excessively strafed. His vascularity is off the charts too. It's like a mixture of like Sundracon and a muscular normal map that was released. It's like a plethora of things merged competently. For the females, the only thing that matters is the neck seam. There's no seam anymore. It's very important. I'm freaking in love with these textures. I have no intent. Oh, and these normal maps apply to the females too. The females are very muscular. Um, well, the females are equally as muscular as the males. So I probably should have mentioned that. So it's not just the neck seam on the females that I edited. It's you know, their normal maps too. Khajiit. I don't think I touched the Khajiit. Khajiit's pretty much perfect. They have the upscale HD textures, and yeah, they're pretty much perfect. I'm sure I did some personal tweaks to line the textures up so that there's no seaming or anything, but for the most part, Khajiits didn't require a lot of work. I think they're pretty good by default. Nord already showcased a Nord. Neck seam gone. See there, has long vascularity. Slightly has a six pack. Jump over. There's the female. If you look at her arm there, she's more muscular than you think. And yeah, she's been equally tweaked to remove the neck seam too. Gonna move along here for my orcs. So here's my orc female. If you look at her arms there, she's very strafed. She's extremely strafed. She's very muscular. She's like deceptively big. Neck seam gone too. Let's switch over. For my male orcs, if you saw the previous video, yeah, they're horrendously terrifying now. They're so strafed it's not even funny. They're basically or essentially the bodybuilder of the of the game in general. Sure, with the light off. With the light off, it's barely noticeable though. Only in extreme lighting can you really. Well, you can see a six pack in the dark, but only in extreme lighting can you really see like how insane the vascularity is and the musculature, which is what I was aiming for. I'm in love with this bodybuilder mesh too for the race because they can, as you can see here, they can get pretty big, which is super cool. But yeah, I'm loving these normal maps. These normal maps are so good. Speaking of so good, use my red guard again in the previous video. This is like night and day. He's so see the strafes on his shoulders, see his biceps, the vascularity, the musculature, everything. He's even got a little six pack going on there. It's pretty crazy. Anywho, here's the female side. Females are pretty muscular too. If you look at her arms, you could probably tell. There's they have some muscle going on with them. They're very athletic. Well, their race is described as athletic, so of course they'll be very vascular and very fit. I think that's Red Guard is the last one. Can't think of a race after Red Guard. That's default. Yeah, that's all of my races. I already showed off all my Berserk races, which is my favorite races, by the way. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just a little update showing that I have new normal maps, which are pretty much insane, separating each race. If you're familiar with my previous videos, then I've already separated the races according to skeleton, mesh, texture, yeah, and armor even. So they're pretty they're varying like crazy. Height too. So yeah, it's just been an update. God bless.